In the past as well, the Americans have repeatedly threatened in their statements that all options are on the table. All options means including the option of war. Of course, the Americans should also know that if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war.
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course you can say that, but we have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
Amid escalating tensions, U.S. President Donald Trump said he remains hopeful that Iran will agree to a deal, but warned that failure could lead to military consequences. Speaking to reporters in Florida, Trump emphasized that U.S. naval forces are already positioned in the region as leverage.
Sir, on Iran, the Supreme Leader today said that U.S. attack could spark a regional war. Giving you response to that?
Why wouldn't he say that? Of course you can say that, but we have the biggest, most powerful ships in the world over there, very close, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we don't make a deal, then we'll find out whether or not he was right.
His remarks followed a rare public appearance by Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in Tehran. Khamenei warned that any U.S. military action against Iran would spark a regional war across the Middle East. He stressed that Iran does not initiate conflict, but would respond decisively to any form of aggression. The Iranian leader dismissed U.S. threats involving aircraft carriers and warships, saying Iran would not be frightened. Khamenei accused Washington of attempting to dominate Iran due to its strategic location and vast energy resources. He said the United States previously controlled Iran's oil, politics, and security before the 1979 revolution.
As you can see, sometimes they try to stir up talk of war, saying we have such and such planes, we have this and that, we can do this. This isn't new either. In the past as well, the Americans have repeatedly threatened in their statements that all options are on the table. All options means including the option of war. They've always said all options are on the table. Now it's the same. They keep making these claims. But what did we do? We didn't back down. Our dear people of Iran shouldn't be frightened by these things. The Iranian nation is not influenced by these tactics. We do not shy away from standing up for what is right, but we are not the ones to start anything. We do not wish to oppress anyone, nor do we want to attack any country. But when it comes to someone who has the intention to attack, to cause harm, the Iranian nation will respond with a firm fist, let it be known. That is our style. Of course, the Americans should also know that if they start a war, this time it will be a regional war.
Trump countered by highlighting America's military power, saying U.S. ships in the region are the strongest in the world. He added that the coming days would determine whether diplomacy succeeded or conflict escalated. Notably, Trump withdrew the U.S. from the 2015 Iran nuclear deal in 2018. That agreement had limited Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief. Since then, Washington has imposed sweeping sanctions that have severely damaged Iran's economy. Trump has repeatedly raised concerns about Iran's nuclear program and domestic repression. He has said Iran is secretly eager to negotiate despite its public defiance. Iran has accused the U.S. of economic warfare and violating international commitments. The standoff comes amid widespread protests in Iran over the high cost of living. Those demonstrations later evolved into broader anti-government unrest across the country. Iranian authorities described the protests as riots backed by the United States and Israel. Meanwhile, the U.S. has deployed the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group to the Middle East amid rising tensions with Iran and regional unrest.
We're doing things that nobody's ever seen before. The country is really in great shape. We have a large armada, flotilla, you can call it whatever you want, heading toward Iran right now, even larger than what we had in Venezuela. It's still in front of Venezuela. The Venezuelan situation, the leadership is doing a very good job. We're very happy, and we're getting along very, very well. And we're inviting countries of the world very shortly. They're going to be starting to take the oil. We're going to be heading that with the country. and it's worked out really well. We're now sending actually a larger number of ships to Iran, and hopefully we'll make a deal. If we do make a deal, that's good. If we don't make a deal, we'll see what happens.
What's your timeline for when you're going to pull back potentially the federal presence there?
No, we'll see how it all works out. You know, they have to float someplace. They might as well float near Iran, but it's a rough situation going on. So I stopped 837 people, as you know, last week from being hung. They were going to hang 830. It was all set. And I mean, I'm looking at the people behind me. They're saying, what kind of racing's a lot nicer than that. They were going to hang 837 people. And I told them, if you do it, you're going to pay a price like nobody's ever paid before. They pulled back. I appreciated that. But a lot of people are being killed. So we'll see what happens. I can say this, they do want to make a deal. We're fully rebuilding the U.S. military with more than $1 trillion we're spending on the military. And in June, we obliterated Iran's nuclear capacity in Operation Midnight Hammer. You saw that. People have been waiting for 22 years to do that, and we were right at the end. They were about a month away from having a nuclear weapon. We had to do it. And by the way, there's another beautiful armada floating beautifully toward Iran right now. So we'll see. I hope they make a deal. I hope they make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time they'd have a country. And just weeks ago, at a spectacular operation in Venezuela, we brought the outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to face American justice. In one of the most brilliant, lethal, quick, they've never seen violent operations ever seen, military operations ever seen. Nobody was killed, not on their side. A lot of people, unfortunately, I have to say a lot. We went into a very big, powerful military base with a group of unbelievable, talented, patriotic people that love our country. You couldn't hold them back. You know, the weather was off for 3 nights. It was not good, so I delayed it. The next night it was okay, but not great. I said, General, sir, they're ready to go. Sir, they're okay. I said, but the weather's a little bad. I said, sir, they're ready to go. I said, God bless you, General. And boy, did they do a job.